Imagine the most powerful man in the world, Marcus Aurelius, struggling to get out of bed at dawn. He gives himself a pep talk, not with motivational cliches, but with a reminder of his purpose, to do the work of a human being. This opening paradox sets the tone for our journey, how the ruler of an empire relied on inner stillness and philosophical honesty to face daily challenges. Today, we'll explore how Marcus's private reflections, written in the chaos of war and crisis, offer a timeless operating system for modern leaders. Let's step into the mind of the world's first Stoic CEO and discover what it means to lead with resilience, clarity, and purpose. Stoicism is experiencing a renaissance. Once an academic curiosity, it's now a mainstream movement, embraced by Fortune 500 CEOs, Silicon Valley founders, and best-selling authors. In moments of global disruption, chaos, and crisis, Stoic principles offer a practical toolkit for navigating uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius stands at the center of this revival, not just as a philosopher, but as a leader who ran an empire through pandemic, war, and personal loss. His Meditations reads like the most honest leadership manual ever written. In this video, we'll see why ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever for ambitious professionals seeking self-reliance and composure under pressure. Marcus Aurelius was born into privilege in 121 CE, but his path to power was anything but ordinary. Orphaned young, he was raised by his mother and grandfather, showing early brilliance and a deep attraction to philosophy. Adopted by Emperor Antoninus Pius, Marcus was groomed for leadership, yet always saw himself as a student of wisdom first. When he became emperor in 161 CE, he insisted on sharing power with his adoptive brother, an unprecedented act of humility. Throughout his reign, Marcus faced relentless crises, plague, war, rebellion, and personal tragedy. Yet he processed these challenges with remarkable equanimity, guided by his philosophical training. Marcus Aurelius's reign was defined by adversity. The Anton plague decimated the empire, killing millions. The Marcomannic Wars dragged on for over a decade, with Marcus leading from the front lines. A trusted general rebelled, and Marcus responded not with vengeance but with calm deliberation. He endured the deaths of children and the loss of his co-emperor brother. Through it all, Marcus turned to philosophy, using the Meditations as a tool for psychological resilience. His ability to remain composed and just, even in the face of overwhelming hardship, set a standard for leadership that still resonates today. Marcus's education was exceptional. He studied under renowned philosophers, most notably Epictetus, whose teachings on the dichotomy of control became central to Marcus's worldview. He also learned from Apollonius, Sextus, and Fronto, absorbing lessons in logic, ethics, and self-discipline. For Marcus, philosophy was not an abstract pursuit, but a daily practice for coping with the burdens of power. His training equipped him to face not only political challenges, but also the psychological trials of leadership. This lifelong commitment to learning and self-improvement is a hallmark of the Stoic CEO. Marcus Aurelius is remembered as the last of the 5 good emperors and the final ruler of Rome's golden age, the Pax Romana. His death marked the end of an era of stability and the beginning of turmoil for the empire. Historians like Edward Gibbon praised his reign as a time when wisdom and virtue guided absolute power. Marcus's legacy endures not just in history books, but in the continued relevance of his Meditations, a testament to the enduring power of character, reason, and ethical leadership. Meditations is unlike any other work in Western philosophy. Written as a private journal, it was never intended for publication. Marcus used it to wrestle with anger, fatigue, and the temptations of power. The text is a patchwork of aphorisms and reflections, composed during military campaigns and moments of crisis. Its raw honesty and lack of pretense make it psychologically compelling. The Meditations bridges the gap between theory and practice, showing a leader applying philosophy to real-world problems. Its influence has spanned centuries, inspiring figures from Bill Clinton to Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao. What makes the Meditations so powerful is its authenticity. Marcus was not writing for an audience, he was writing to himself, confronting his own weaknesses and doubts. This makes the text more honest than any public treatise. It's the only surviving record of a world leader's private instructions on governing with virtue. The Meditations has remained in print for centuries, a testament to its universal appeal. Its lessons are as relevant to today's executives as they were to a Roman emperor facing war and plague. The heart of Marcus's philosophy are the 4 Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. For the Stoics, virtue is the only true good. External things, wealth, health, reputation, are preferred indifference, nice to have but not essential to a good life. This perspective allowed Marcus to govern an empire without becoming attached to its perks. The virtues provided a compass for his actions, helping him maintain integrity and composure in the face of adversity. One of the most important Stoic principles is the dichotomy of control, articulated by Epictetus and embraced by Marcus. Some things are up to us, our judgments, desires, and actions. Other things like wealth, reputation, and outcomes are not. The Stoic practice is to focus attention on what we can control and let go of the rest. This mindset is the cornerstone of Stoic stress management and a powerful tool for modern leaders facing uncertainty and volatility. Marcus developed the metaphor of the inner citadel, the rational mind as a fortress that cannot be breached by external events unless we allow it. No matter what happens outside, our governing faculty remains our sovereign domain. This is the foundation of Stoic self-reliance, independence from circumstances. For leaders, the inner citadel is a source of stability and clarity, enabling wise decisions even in the midst of chaos. Meditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils, is the Stoic practice of visualizing worst-case scenarios before they happen. Marcus began his days by mentally rehearsing the difficult people and situations he might face. This wasn't pessimism, but strategic preparation. By anticipating adversity, he made himself virtually unshockable. Modern parallels include scenario planning and risk management, tools every effective leader needs. Amor Fati, or love of fate, is the Stoic practice of embracing whatever happens, including adversity. Marcus didn't just accept obstacles, he saw them as opportunities to grow. This reframing turned setbacks into raw material for progress. The idea was popularized for modern audiences by Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way. For leaders, Amor Fati means working with what is, not wishing for what is. Memento Mori, or remember you must die, is a clarifying practice Marcus returned to often. Far from being morbid, it's a way to focus on what truly matters. By keeping the brevity of life in mind, we stop wasting time on trivialities and external validation. For modern professionals, Memento Mori is a powerful antidote to distraction and anxiety, helping us prioritize our highest values. Stoics believed in a rational principle, logos, that pervades the cosmos. To live according to nature means to live in accordance with reason and virtue, not impulse or external pressure. Marcus saw himself as a fragment of this divine reason, responsible for aligning his actions with the greater order. This principle justifies radical self-determination and ethical leadership, both in ancient Rome and today's boardrooms. Marcus Aurelius' approach to self-reliance is especially relevant for modern leaders. The Stoic concept of autarkia, or self-sufficiency, is not just a lifestyle choice, it's a deliberate strategy to become immune to external disruption. Marcus couldn't eliminate dependencies as emperor, but he cultivated such deep inner independence that no external failure could compromise his judgment or virtue. This is the Stoic answer to operating in dependency-heavy environments. Did Marcus cultivate self-reliance? First, he internalized his goals, focusing on process rather than outcomes. He practiced voluntary discomfort, giving up luxuries to prove he didn't depend on them. He used the view from above exercise to put problems in perspective, and trained himself to see health, wealth, and status as preferred indifference, nice but not necessary. These practices helped him remain stable and effective, regardless of external circumstances. Today's executives face dependencies on investors, quarterly results, social media, and supply chains. Stoic self-reliance doesn't mean ignoring these factors. It means cultivating a stable inner foundation to address them without panic or ego-driven decisions. Leaders like Satya Nadella and Yvonne Chouinard embody this principle, focusing on what they can control and letting go of the rest. Their success demonstrates the enduring value of Stoic self-reliance in business. Marcus Aurelius managed simultaneous pressures: a deadly pandemic, protracted war, internal rebellion, personal loss, and the demands of governing millions. Despite these challenges, he maintained composure and clarity. The meditations, written during these crises, became his tool for stress management and wise decision-making. His example shows that true leadership is tested not in calm, but in chaos. Marcus's approach to decision-making was methodical. He paused before responding, separating fact from interpretation. He practiced premeditatio malorum, mentally rehearsing possible failures before acting. He focused on process, not outcomes, accepting that many results were beyond his control. By maintaining his inner citadel, Marcus ensured that even catastrophic events couldn't compromise his judgment. This is the Stoic equivalent of modern stress inoculation. Antonine Plague was a defining crisis of Marcus's reign. While elites fled Rome, Marcus stayed, financing public relief and maintaining army recruitment. He allowed religious ceremonies for social cohesion, yet remained rational about causation. Throughout the crisis, he continued writing the Meditations, using philosophy as his stress management practice. His leadership during the plague offers a powerful parallel to modern pandemic response. Marcus's daily routine was a model of discipline and purpose. At dawn, he reminded himself of his duty, resisting the comfort of the blankets. He began each day with journaling, intensive moral self-examination, not casual diary keeping. He practiced premeditatio malorum, anticipating the day's challenges. Physical discipline, a simple diet, and regular reflection on mortality kept him focused on what mattered. His routine was a complete psychological operating system, not a collection of wellness hacks. Each evening, Marcus reviewed his day, asking himself, where did I go wrong? What did I do well? What can I improve tomorrow? This practice wasn't about self-criticism, but honest self-audit. It allowed him to learn from mistakes, reinforce virtues, and prepare for the next day. For modern professionals, this simple habit can drive continuous improvement and personal growth. Unlike today's productivity culture, Marcus's routine lacked biohacks and optimization stacks. There was no cold plunge or supplement protocol, just purpose, anticipatory thinking, self-examination, and honest review. This contrast highlights the depth of Stoic practice. It's not about maximizing output, but about mastering the mind and aligning actions with values. For leaders, this is a far more sustainable approach to productivity. Stoic principles are not just ancient history, they're actively shaping modern business. Leaders like Jack Dorsey, Tim Ferriss, Yvonne Chouinard, Satya Nadella, and Warren Buffett all cite Stoicism as foundational to their approach. They use journaling, voluntary discomfort, and process focus to navigate crises and uncertainty. Their success demonstrates that Stoic wisdom is a practical asset in today's fast-paced, high-stakes environments. Modern psychology supports the effectiveness of Stoic principles. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, the most empirically supported treatment for anxiety and depression, is directly derived from Stoic techniques. Acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, mirrors Stoic acceptance of what can't be controlled. Research on resilient leadership consistently points to the ability to maintain a stable identity under threat. Essentially, the Inner Citadel scenario planning and pre-mortem analysis, standard in business, are Stoic practices in action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." This simple reminder cuts through procrastination and self-doubt. For Marcus, work was not just a duty, but an expression of his nature. Concentrating on what's in front of you with seriousness and integrity is the essence of Stoic productivity. Impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus's insight is that obstacles are not roadblocks but opportunities for growth. This mindset transforms adversity into fuel for progress. For leaders, resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about using them to become stronger and wiser. Marcus reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the heart of Stoic self-reliance, focusing on what you can control and letting go of the rest. In a world full of uncertainty, this principle is a source of unshakable strength. Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about other people. Marcus's advice is to focus on your own path, not on the opinions or actions of others. In the age of social media and constant comparison, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. Concentrate on living as your nature demands, and don't let anything distract you from your purpose. Marcus wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, and do so with all your heart." For him, leadership was about embracing circumstances and serving others with integrity. True worth, he believed, comes from the quality of one's ambitions and the courage to begin living fully. Hadot identified 3 core disciplines in Marcus's meditations: perception, action, and will. The discipline of perception means seeing things objectively, without distortion. The discipline of action is about fulfilling your social duties with justice and kindness. The discipline of will is about accepting what you cannot control with humility. Together, these disciplines form a comprehensive approach to life and leadership. Meditations were not written as a treatise, but as a series of spiritual exercises. Marcus used them to reinforce his convictions, practice self-discipline, and find calm amid chaos. The repetitive nature of the entries reflects his need to revisit difficult principles until they became second nature. For modern readers, this process of reframing and repetition is a powerful tool for personal growth. A sense of mortality pervades the meditations. Marcus reminds himself that death is natural and that all things change or pass away. This awareness is not meant to depress, but to focus attention on what truly matters. By accepting the transience of life, we can let go of trivial concerns and live more fully in the present. Marcus often uses imagery from nature, trees, rivers, seasons, to illustrate philosophical points. He saw human society as an organism, with each person playing a unique role. This perspective fostered humility and a sense of interconnectedness. For leaders, thinking in terms of systems and natural cycles can provide valuable perspective and patience. Stoicism, as practiced by Marcus, is fundamentally a defensive philosophy. It's less about achieving happiness and more about resisting pain and adversity. Military metaphors abound: the mind is a fortress, life is a battle. This approach helped Marcus endure relentless challenges, but it also reminds us that resilience often means holding the line, not just seeking joy. While Marcus often refers to the gods, his conception is closer to the Stoic idea of nature or providence. He believed in a benevolent order, but also acknowledged the limits of human influence. This blend of faith and rationality gave him comfort and perspective, especially in times of uncertainty. For modern leaders, a sense of connection to something larger can provide meaning and resilience. Meditations survive centuries of obscurity, preserved by scholars and rediscovered during the Renaissance. Its influence has reached poets, presidents, and business leaders alike. Despite its humble origins as a private journal, it has become a universal manual for living and leading with integrity. Its continued relevance is a testament to the enduring power of honest self-examination. For those interested in diving deeper, the Gregory Hayes and Robin Hard translations of the Meditations are highly recommended. Epictetus's Discourses and Enchiridion provide the philosophical foundation Marcus built upon. Modern analyses like Pierre Hadot's The Inner Citadel and Donald Robertson's How to Think Like a Roman Emperor connect Stoic practices to contemporary psychology and leadership. These resources can enrich your understanding and application of Stoic principles. To apply Stoic wisdom, start with 3 daily practices. Begin each morning with a journal of anticipatory thinking, premeditatio malorum. Audit your biggest dependencies and question which are truly necessary, and read 1 page of the Meditations each day for a month. These simple habits can build resilience, clarity, and self-reliance, qualities essential for modern leadership. Let's return to where we began. Marcus at dawn in his tent on the frontier, writing to himself before an empire awakens. He faces plague, war, and political intrigue, but first he writes. The message is clear. The most productive thing you can do is master your inner world. Everything else follows from this foundation of clarity and composure. Marcus Aurelius's life teaches us that productivity and leadership are not about controlling outcomes, but about mastering our own minds. The challenge for every modern professional is to cultivate self-reliance, resilience, and purpose, not through hacks or shortcuts, but through daily practice and honest reflection. The Stoic CEO is not a relic of the past, but a model for the future. Summarize: Marcus Aurelius's Meditations offer a complete operating system for modern leaders. Focus on what you can control, cultivate inner resilience, practice daily discipline, and lead with virtue. These principles are timeless, bridging the gap between ancient philosophy and contemporary success. By integrating Stoic wisdom into your life, you can navigate uncertainty with confidence and integrity. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom has endured for nearly 2 millennia because it addresses the universal challenges of leadership and life. His honest self-examination, commitment to virtue, and practical approach to adversity remain as relevant today as they were in ancient Rome. By studying his example, we can become more resilient, ethical, and effective leaders, no matter what challenges we face. As we close, remember that the true measure of leadership is not in titles or achievements, but in the quality of our character and the steadiness of our mind. Marcus Aurelius's meditations invite us to build an inner citadel, an unshakable foundation of wisdom and virtue. In a world of constant change, this is the ultimate competitive advantage. Thank you for joining this exploration of the Stoic CEO.